Ever notice how the night drifts in quietly and you're still sitting there on the couch, phone in hand, scrolling endlessly while the laptop waits beside you? Bills are paid, emails responded to, deadlines met, but that one project, that personal goal, hasn't moved an inch. And somewhere in the back of your head, there's a pull of guilt. Soft, persistent, sitting beside the comfort of doing nothing hard. You know the bigger thing you want to accomplish, but even lifting the first finger to begin feels heavy. Your brain whispers that you're too tired, and part of you believes it. And yet, there's a spark smothered under it all. A small ember that could grow if only it weren't covered by the blanket of easy choices. The glow of the phone reflects in your eyes as a notification pings. You tap it. It's another video, another post, another endless scroll. You think about the side project again, the draft of an article, the half-finished playlist of ideas, and your thumb keeps moving. There's comfort here, small, measurable, harmless. And yet there's that quiet tug, the awareness that the goals are still waiting, untouched. Monday morning comes, coffee steaming in your hand, the gym bag untouched, the half-written post staring back at you. You murmur to yourself, "I'm just lazy," as if saying it aloud makes it permanent. And in a quiet way, it does. The label sticks. Relief drifts in for a second, because at least the problem has a name. But there's also a weight that lingers. The blank Word document doesn't care about the label, and somehow, the weight of lazy feels heavier than the page itself. You glance at the clock. The morning stretches slowly. A coworker texts, asking if you're coming to lunch. You say yes, without planning, without real intention. Another notification, another scroll. The weight of things undone sits quietly beside the comfort of small, predictable actions. Sunday night rolls around. You open the planning app, a 30-day fitness challenge blinking on the screen. The first chapter of a book imagined in your mind. You stare at it, imagining each step you'd have to take, and then the app closes itself. The TV turns on. A series begins. The brain calculates safety in the immediate dopamine hit and convenience, leaving the ambition on the shelf. You know you want something bigger. But the first step feels like a cliff. You stand at the base of a mountain with binoculars pressed to your eyes, the summit far away, impossible to scale all at once. The next night, you lie in bed, phone in hand, telling yourself you're just recharging. Hours pass. Side projects sit idle on the desktop. Comfort is chosen, and quietly, a sense of disappointment settles in. Weeds under soil, covered, not gone. Maybe you decide to clean the apartment. You start with a corner, a small drawer, a stack of papers. 10 minutes pass. The rest remains untouched. Netflix waits. The mind negotiates downward. The effort spent feels enough to justify the rest, even though it isn't. Ordering a salad while secretly eating fries. Small compliance with a larger intention. A tiny concession that feels acceptable, even though it isn't. Hours are spent scrolling productivity blogs, watching videos on how to start a business, how to learn faster, how to organize life, all without touching the actual work. Your mind feels active, responsible even. But the goals themselves haven't moved, running in place on a treadmill, imagining the marathon ahead, never leaving the spot. Quiet frustration simmers beneath the surface. Midnight hits, social media again, peers' lives flash across the screen. A thought creeps in. I'm behind, I'm not enough. The app closes, sleep comes, uneasy. Self-criticism amplifies the inertia, and the brain's preference for comfort is justified under shame. Like a car stuck in the mud, the harder you push, the deeper it sinks. Morning, emails, headlines promising change. You linger, waiting for inspiration, motivation, the feeling that you'll be ready. The light doesn't change, time passes. The traffic light never turns green. You wake with plans to study, to work out, to push hard. 10 minutes in, exhaustion whispers that real discipline means giving it all. You step back, disappointed. The effort feels monumental, incomplete, like buying a bag of groceries but only eating one bite. The ambition remains, but the scale of effort convinces the mind to pause, opening a blank document, imagining a 200-page book. Frustration swells. The mind locks onto scale. A skyscraper looms in front of you. The step-by-step climb isn't visible. Only the enormous task registers. You pick up the guitar again after months. Fingers fumble over the first chord. shoulders tense. It goes back into the case. Effort versus inertia. Starting is disproportionately hard. Progress remains unseen, pushing a stalled car. The first motion consumes all energy, after which movement would be easier. But that first push is always the hardest. Saying, "It's not that I'm lazy, I just haven't started yet," offers slight relief. Excuses soften the pressure, but underneath there's awareness that action hasn't happened. Comfort sits beside subtle pressure, pulling the fire alarm, but ignoring the smoke, conscious recognition without motion. Scrolling through the phone in bed, patterns of procrastination emerge. You see them, clearly reflected in the glow of the screen, recognition without judgment, awareness without change, a reflection in a window at night, visible, unchangeable, intimate, staring back at you. A single page is read, one step toward a project is taken. Relief washes in, minimal, contained. Anxiety about the full task lingers outside the doorway, partially mitigated, but unresolved. Door ajar, exposure partial, manageable, but not complete. Hours dissolve in repetition. Days blur, work loops endlessly, responsibilities are met, small distractions multiply, phone in hand, thumbs scroll automatically. Rituals occupy every idle moment. You plan, think, imagine, but tangible steps, the ones that move the spark forward, are often delayed, minimal, incomplete. Fitness routines half done. Shoes sit by the door, unworn, water poured, left untouched. Email threads opened, never fully replied. Side projects hover as browser tabs, friends' messages left unread. Quiet awareness of life slowly passing by, punctuated by small choices that feel harmless, but accumulate into inaction. The brain calculates risk constantly. Even the simplest decisions, opening a book, taking one small action, require negotiation. Comfort first, safety first, relief first. Ambition lingers quietly, tucked behind the urge to avoid discomfort. The contrast between how life appears, productive, full, structured, and how it feels, stalled, constrained, unfinished, is subtle, almost imperceptible to anyone else. But to you, it's present, persistent, unavoidable. Sometimes the gap between desire and action is astonishingly small. Picking up a pen, writing a line, closing the book, checking a single corner of the apartment, playing one chord on a guitar. Small, almost trivial efforts that offer a taste of momentum. Relief comes, short-lived. Tension remains. The broader goal is distant, intimidating. Recognition is mixed with guilt, self-awareness without movement. Each day repeats in quiet cycles. Motivation assumed, absent. Discipline imagined, unachieved. Identity questioned, only partially acknowledged. A faint spark exists beneath layers of comfort, convenience, rationalization, smothered, but not extinguished. Even when sitting quietly, staring at screens, or waiting for inspiration, the mind is active in assessment, comparing, measuring, noting failures, imagining possibilities. Hope and delay coexist. Ambition and exhaustion wrestle quietly. Comfort and guilt sit beside each other, unspoken, unresolved. Soft hum of the refrigerator, ticking of the clock, dim glow of the phone screen. Each small choice, scrolling, watching, thinking, waiting, builds on the last. The day concludes not with clarity, but with awareness. Awareness of potential, unspent. Awareness of motion desired but unexecuted. Awareness of self as observer of its own hesitation. You may close the laptop, put the phone down, lie in bed. The room is quiet, the tasks remain, the goals untouched, the spark covered, but present. The fire hasn't been lit fully. The tension lingers, unresolved, subtle, continuous, familiar, and the night ends, not with accomplishment, not with relief, not with clarity, just the quiet presence of what could be, measured against what is, the weight of ambition, comfort, awareness, inaction, coexisting. You breathe, you lie still. The spark remains, hidden, waiting, smothered by choice, by comfort, by the subtle calculations of the mind that prefers the easy, the familiar, the safe, and it waits.